This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Yes, we are recording right now.
Hi, Justin.
Huh? Oh, yeah, no, we're already recording.
I'm used to you guys talking for like that.
Did you hear him?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm used to you guys just talking for a while.
We already did that.
Yeah. Go, Miko. Okay, love you. Bye. Bye, Miko. Bye. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we are your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And we're here today for a Toon Tangent episode. Woo! So AKA bonus content that we provide. And today we're gonna talk about something very fun. And I believe I can speak for both of us when I say something that we're very excited about and that we're gonna enjoy talking about today. Grace, would you like to tell the beautiful, lovely people out there what we're going to talk about in today's Toon Tangent? I guess if they haven't already read the title of this Toon Tangent.
You know, maybe they read the title and maybe they're not familiar with the thing we're going to talk about today. So they're like,
Truesies.
What? You guys are going to talk about burgers and some guy named Bob? Who's Bob? And why does he have burgers? We're so confused. So, dear confused listeners, we are going to be talking about the very soon to be released Bob's Burgers movie, which we are, unlike our previous Toon Tangents, which we kind of shit on things a little bit, a couple of them. We obviously didn't do drama, but
we try to be objective though. That's cute, yeah. Kind of.
I'm not. I'm like, hell yeah, this movie's gonna be amazing.
Oh, I thought you meant about the stuff we shit on. I thought you meant about the stuff we shit on. Like, I mean, it's gonna be bad, but like objectively bad.
Highlights. Yes. True. Yeah, no, I was gonna say for this one, I have no chill about it.
Yeah. We can be as subjective as we want for Bob's Burgers and saying that we individually love the show, and that is why we're super excited for the movie. So I think today we're probably just gonna we're gonna talk about what we expect for the movie or like what we know about it so far, and then also maybe like why we're excited for it, what we love about the show, and I guess why you all should love it too if you don't already watch it.
Yeah. So do you want to start with some of the things we know about it already?
Yeah. Well, I guess actually I'll back up and real quick do maybe just like what the show is about in case anyone hasn't.
They're still like, who is Bob and why does he have burgers?
Why does he have burgers? Why do these people
Why does he have a movie now about his burgers?
Yeah. Why is he so important that he gets a movie? Well, dear viewers and listeners, I promise you, he is a pretty important man. So let's see. Bob's Burgers at its core, I would call it it's an animated show, first off. So that's why we're talking about it in Toon Tangents. And it is generally an adult animation. Like there's maybe an argument that it's a family show, maybe, but it definitely has a lot of grown-up subjects and some pretty foul language and content.
Yeah.
But it is a show about a family who owns and operates a seaside burger restaurant in like this, really don't know what town it is. It's like maybe inspired by somewhere in New Jersey, maybe inspired by somewhere in California. So the Belcher family, or I should say Bob, his last name is Belcher, the owner of Bob's Burgers. And so the Belcher family consists of him, who is the chef at the restaurant, his wife, Linda, who I'm sure we both love. She works
everyone in the show.
Oh yeah, the whole family. She works the front of the house, and then they've got 3 kids. Oldest is Tina. I think she's 12 or 13. She's in 8th grade. And then middle is Jean, who I think is 10 in the 6th grade. 11.
Yeah, I would say I think 5th or 6th grade or something like that. Yeah, middle school, Tina's junior high.
Yeah, and then Louise is the youngest, hell-raising little like 8-year-old who I guess is in 4th grade, I think.
Yeah.
And this makes up the Belcher family. And the show essentially just covers like all of their antics and whatnot. Yes. So the show essentially just talks about or like tells the stories of all of their antics of owning and operating this honestly like pretty struggling restaurant. Like it has a lot of ups and downs and like its business and its foot traffic. We can maybe get into that later. But yeah, all of their antics running this restaurant, and then also just like engaging with the other people of this town of Oceanside or wherever it is. Yeah, and so honestly, like it sounds like a very grounded show when you look at it that way, and I kind of consider it like a workplace, like animated workplace sitcom, so to speak, in a lot of ways.
It kind of is.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I don't know what else. Anything else that I'm missing? I guess there are some more characters who are pretty prominent, but I don't know if we want to talk about them later or get into some of them now.
Yeah, no, I think that was actually a great description of like, yeah, at its core, it's like the dynamics of this family. And I guess a little more about those dynamics of, yeah, like Bob, yeah, he's the main chef. This is his restaurant. His dad was a chef, so like cooking is in his blood. He loves cooking more than anything on this planet, including maybe sometimes his family. And he's pretty, like, for the most part, I think he sometimes tries to get painted as the most like even keeled of the family, even though like Bob has many of his own flaws and shenanigans that he himself imparts and brings to the family. But like, on the face value, he's kind of like the rock that keeps things somewhat sane. Linda, his wife, is the again from the desk, so she is the face of the family, maybe you could say, and is born to be a star.
At least she thinks so.
Yes, she thinks she's born to be a star in the best way possible. She loves her children more than anything. And
maybe I would the only thing she loves more than her children is herself sometimes.
Yeah, again, every character has like the perfect amount of flaws in which I would say for every single one of these things we're naming of like the flaws of each character makes me love them even more.
Exactly.
But yeah, so she's willing to go like above and beyond for her children and for Bob, and like leans fully into the shenanigans for the sake of her children. Tina is the prepubescent / maybe in the middle of puberty horse girl. That should be enough of a description of Tina.
Horse girl and fan fiction, like constantly writing teenage erotic fan fiction.
Yes, that's all you need to know about Tina.
Zombies too.
Yes, and butts.
Zombies and butts are her jam.
Zombies, butts, writing horses, and fanfic is Tina. Yes. Gene Gene is very much like his mother. He is also born to be a star. I would say he also kind of the children, I think he has the most like emotions of like range of emotions, and like weirdly like emotionally intelligent for a 6th grade boy. But yeah, he's also born to be a star. He just wants to play music and have a good time and be included, I think, a lot of the time, and also receive praise and love from his family and parents. And then
attention-seeking middle child.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, middle child. And then Louise, Alexis hinted at, is the hell-raising little demon child, but in the best way possible. Of she definitely is far, far beyond her years in her intelligence and uses those powers for evil, but also is willing to stand up for her siblings, even if she misinterprets what they need sometimes. So
God, that was the perfect like truncated like spark notes of each of those characters. I've got to say that was excellent. Very well done.
Thank you.
And then I'll just real quick add too that the show's been on for quite a while too, and it's really successful. I think it first came out in 2011, and it's now in its 12th season. Like the 12th season is currently on the air. Yeah, which it's crazy in part because it doesn't seem like it's been that long. Yeah. And also because I think that all the seasons age really well. I mean, 2011 doesn't really seem like it was that long ago, even though That was 11. That was, oh my God, 11 years.
Oh my God,
wow.
2011
2011 as I'm drinking from my high school
hey.
class of 2011 cup. Wow. That to remind me how long ago that was. Crazy. Right. But yeah, the first couple seasons, I'll say it's like, you know, it started crawling and then it started walking maybe in season 2. And then with season 3, it like totally, in my opinion, just took off with the humor, with the formula, I guess, for the storylines and for the way that these character dynamics worked, both within the Belcher family, and they started introducing a lot more people in this fictional town. You know, we see a lot of the students that attend the same school as Tina, Jean, and Louise. They come into a lot of episodes and are very close friends that sometimes honestly cause as much trouble in the storylines as like the Belchers themselves do. We see, you know, close friends of Bob's and Linda's. They are very integrated into the stories too, like Mort the mortician who owns the crematorium next door to the burger restaurant, and Teddy the mechanic who just does like all, or the handyman who does all of the work around the restaurant. And like, maybe he's like low key in love with Linda, but is like so close with Bob. Like he would never do anything, but he just like pines over Linda and like all of her. He definitely is. But the whole family loves him. The kids call him Uncle Teddy sometimes. And so it's just really fun to see how they write all of these characters. It reminds me a lot. It's like Springfield, Illinois, or like Pawnee in Parks and Recreation, where they create the continuity within this fictional town of like, you have all your standard characters like Ethel and God, I'm forgetting his name, the old grumpy couple that works,
owns the craft supply store.
Exactly. And just all these characters. Jimmy Pesto is the competing restaurant owner across the street. And it's like, you really just get a feel for the vibe of this community that this show takes place in. And that's one of the main reasons why I for sure love the show, because I just love when shows, animated or live action, do that, where you can like pick from all these various characters and pull them in and make them interact with the main story. And I think that is that's going to like have a big play or a big role. It's going to play a big role in the movie too. So real quick, I literally just pulled the movie description off of 20th Century Studios website.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
So just like to sum up how they're going to turn this show that we've briefly described into a movie. So it's going to be an animated big screen. You're going to love this. Musical, comedy, mystery, adventure. It's got it on like this podcast. It's got it besides the musical part. It's got it all. Although we do have we've got a little bit of music that we throw into our podcast. But anyway, so yes, this amazing adventure is going to be based on the long-running Emmy-winning, so it is award-winning series. And the story begins when a ruptured water main creates an enormous sinkhole right in front of Bob's Burgers, blocking the entrance indefinitely and ruining the Belchers' plans for a successful summer. While Bob and Linda, the parents, struggle to keep the business afloat, the kids try to solve a mystery that could save their family's restaurant. And as the dangers mount, these underdogs help each other find hope and fight to get back behind the counter where they belong. Dude, this to me just sounds like peak Bob's Burger. Like it just like that's what it is, Bob's Burgers. And so it's essentially just going to be like a 2-hour long episode, and I cannot wait.
Also real quick. You mentioned that it's a musical, and I know before we did shit somewhat on musicals in cartoons, but I will say Bob's Burgers, this is not odd that the movie would have music in it, because one of the best things about the show to me is musical episodes that happen kind of on a regular-ish basis. And the songs are so fucking funny. Like, they are masterfully done, worked well into the plot. So in my humble opinion, I would be upset if the movie wasn't also a musical or had songs within it.
I 1,000,000% agree. I love that you said that, because I actually, 2 notes that I included here in my notes for talking about this. One of them is like my favorite songs from the show, and another one is like I literally like typed a note saying pretty much what you just said. Like, I know we shat on shows going musical before, but this is one of the few shows that I literally do not mind going musical ever. And it's because like something you alluded to earlier, that Gene, like, he cares about his music, and Linda cares about like her showmanship so much that they actually are very talented and like put a lot of thought into the songs that as characters they're performing. And Bob and all the others like Louise and Tina, they just like play off of that. And so essentially the writers of the show are just like so clever, and the music, like you said, thus is so good because it encapsulates the characters perfectly, because as you describe them, like of who they are. And it adds the perfect comedic just touch onto these episodes. And so I'm very glad that you raised that point. Because I was like, just in case, I'm going to throw these things in there in case she brings up the music component, and why we endorse the music in Bob's Burgers over like probably most other shows.
Full-heartedly. If the writers and musicians of Bob's Burgers could only do it for every other show, maybe we'd be more down, because they are fantastic in this one.
Yes. And so I don't know, I guess any other reasons why we're so excited? I mean, it kind of like
for you, what I guess what's kind of like what does Bob's Burgers in your life mean for you? Like
it's definitely like one of my comfort shows without a doubt. I know, to be fair, there are so many, but I think that just because it's so long running, and the seasons are long themselves, and there are just so many episodes of it, that it's one of those ones that you can just kind of put on and keep running. And anytime that you look up, if you're just doing stuff around the house, and anytime you look up, you're going to see something funny. So that's the first thing, just like that sense of comfort that I get from watching it because of the humor, and that it can just kind of always be on. But also it's comforting because of the stories, honestly, like the overall theme. It's not like any other, it's not like any other adult animated shows that are on now. I guess the closest show that I could maybe compare to it is like King of the Hill, but which actually one of the creators of King of the Hill is one of the creators of Bob's Burgers. So there is like a connection there, but it's just so grounded. And I just love the way how at the end of each episode, really you realize that the stories are always about the way that these family members learn and grow in the hardest of times, or just like the most stressful of times, by leaning into each other and by working with one another and not giving up on one another. So it's just really a show about a really loving, tight-knit family. And it, in like the midst of all of the Black comedy and dramedy stuff that I know we both love, like, trust me, my playlist of animated shows is very dark and like has very dark humor, which this show has a lot of too, but the ending is always a very positive tone, and always, just kind of like brings you back to real life after whatever ridiculous, wild slapstick comedy they happen to like throw into the middle of the episode. So for all of that, I think like compared to all other shows, it's very grounded. And to me, that gives it a special place in my heart, because it's just not like any other shows that you're going to watch. I don't think it's not, it's in your face just as much as it's like dry and witty and just like, no, this is just like regular conversational humor,
Yeah. I agree with literally everything you just said. It has
all my ramblings.
And that to me is also what makes it fall more into like the adult show category, maybe, of this combination that the humor doesn't, can be slapstick and absolutely ridiculous, but the humor can also be just like a scene of the family working in the restaurant, and it's hilarious. Like, it doesn't always have to be so over the top to get a laugh. But also that like emotional aspect of the show, of like that it's dealing with a real family that have real emotions, and like emotions that, you know, this, especially for the kids, like, you know, that we kind of remember going through at that age, and, you know, insecurities and all of that, and that they don't do it so heavy-handed that it's like, okay, I get the lesson. It's like I always go along on that emotional journey with the kids. So really love that. And then we actually, Justin and I have started a tradition in our household that actually so maybe this last year was our first time doing it, maybe the year before, I can't totally remember, but that on Thanksgiving, we watch the Thanksgiving episodes of Bob's Burgers.
Oh man, another reason why I need to visit you guys for Thanksgiving. I literally, like, leading up to Thanksgiving and Christmas, because they have a lot of Christmas episodes too. Anyway, I did, yes, continue.
Yeah, so like before we start cooking on Thanksgiving Day, we start watching the Thanksgiving episodes, most of which are musicals. Also, my partner Justin is Bob on Thanksgiving. Like, he loves turkey more than anything in the world, and like babies his turkey. But one of my last Bob's Burgers thoughts, similar to Powerpuff Girls, is who are you in Bob's Burgers? Oh gosh.
So it's funny. I think about this all the time. I'll try to make it quick though. I identify a lot with Louise, just being the youngest of three, and not so much attention seeking, but always trying to like be wittier and wiser than my superiors or the people above me. But honestly, I think I'm Teddy. Teddy. Yeah. I want to be Louise so bad, but I'm like, damn it, I'm Teddy.
Yeah, I think what you just said is like how I have a theory about Bob's Burgers in which everybody wants to be Louise and everyone thinks that they're Louise, but nobody is Louise.
Yeah.
Like, I think the majority of human beings are Tina, but I like that you identify as Teddy, so I'll let that one slide. Because I'm like, I'm definitely Louise for sure, but I think I'm like, I guess I can't decide all the time whether I'm Jean or Tina. But in the end, I think I might be Linda, of like, not that I like go around singing and stuff like that, but I'm just like down to clown and like, let's fuck around and find out. And like, sometimes I'll be like blissfully ignorant so that I can see what happens. Like, ignore the obvious consequences of my actions.
If at a minimum, you'll have a fun time.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends day to day. Well, it comes out May 27th. We're super excited.
Memorial Day weekend. Everyone go check it out. We'll go check it out. Hope you do.
We'll do a follow-up video.
Yes, absolutely. And like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast, and join us again soon for more Toon Tangents and more Saturday Morning Mysteries.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus Toon Tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.